In this video, we'll be taking a look at one NFL game happening on January 18th, 2026, and providing you with a free team pick and total pick for this game. So 2 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released so that you have more time to plan out your bets. As we provide these videos on a daily basis, I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on this one NFL game after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start, if you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Los Angeles Rams versus Chicago Bears. The Los Angeles Rams head to Soldier Field to face the Chicago Bears on Sunday in a divisional round playoff matchup, and there is a lot going on beneath the surface before you even look at the number. The Rams had a strange arc to their regular season. They opened with a fairly shaky 3-2 run across their first 5 games, dropping matchups to the Philadelphia Eagles and San Francisco 49ers while still trying to figure out who they were. Then they caught fire, ripping off 6 straight wins over the Ravens, Jaguars, Saints, 49ers, Seahawks, and Buccaneers, a stretch that reminded everyone how high this offense's ceiling really is when everything clicks. That surge stumbled a bit with a loss to the Panthers, and they then closed the regular season on another 3-2 run, which left them with a 12-5 record and a solid, if not flawless, path into the postseason. Chicago's story looks a little different, but it shares that sense of momentum with some late wobble. The Bears lost their first 2 games of the year, which had everyone wondering if this was going to be another long season. Then they caught a serious groove with a 9-1 stretch that featured wins over the Cowboys, Raiders, Commanders, Saints, Bengals, Giants, Vikings, Steelers, and Eagles. That is a long list of teams, and while some are stronger than others, running through that many opponents with a single stumble is impressive in any league. They finished the regular season on a spottier 2-3 run, taking losses to the Packers, 49ers, and Lions, and ended up at 11-6 through 17 games. Last weekend, Chicago found some late magic against Green Bay. They racked up 445 yards of offense, with 352 of those through the air, and averaged 5.8 yards per play, which tells you the ball was moving with some rhythm, not just on 1 or 2 broken plays. They picked up 24 first downs and went 10 of 19 on third downs, which is the sort of situational success that keeps drives alive and wears out a defense. Of course, it was not all clean, as they threw 2 interceptions, and the defense did bend a bit, surrendering 322 passing yards. Even so, that defense still held relatively firm on third downs, allowing just 6 of 15 conversions. Across the regular season, Chicago averaged 25.9 points per game and allowed 24.4 points per game, which quietly points to a team that plays a lot of close, punch-counterpunch type games, and this one very much has that same feel. On the Rams side, their wild card performance against Carolina showed both strengths and soft spots. Los Angeles logged 411 total yards, with 295 of those coming through the air, and averaged 5.7 yards per play while picking up 21 first downs. They were pretty rough on third downs at just 3 of 13, which is not what you want if you are trying to put a team away early. The defense stepped up, though, coming up with a couple of takeaways and holding the Panthers to 5 of 12 on third downs, which helped tilt the field. There is a subtle trend with this Rams team on the road too. Their last 3 road games have all been decided by 3 points or fewer, with a 1-2 record over that stretch, so you are looking at a team that is almost always in the game but does not always land the last punch. That narrow win over Carolina should still give them some confidence heading into Soldier Field, but it does not erase the pattern of close calls away from home. Now, zooming in on how this lines up from a spread angle, Chicago has quietly been very reliable. The Bears are 6-3 straight up and 7-1 against the spread in their last 9 games. Their offense has been churning out yards on the ground, which is exactly what you want when you are playing in cold, windy conditions, and their defense has done a strong job forcing turnovers and flipping momentum. That style travels, but it also plays especially well at home in bad weather when games can turn into field position battles. They also get a pretty real home bump here. Soldier Field will be rocking on a freezing and windy night with those brutal conditions that fans in Chicago shrug off but visiting teams absolutely feel. The Rams are dealing with 2 cross-country flights in the same week, which may not sound huge on paper, but for players' bodies and routines, it adds a layer of fatigue and disruption. Their quarterback, Matthew Stafford, has a history of struggling in cold weather games, and this spot does not do him any favors. 8 of his 9 interceptions this year, including regular season and playoffs, have come on the road, which lines up a bit too neatly with the idea that his comfort level drops outside friendly conditions. On top of that, he is banged up and playing with a sprained index finger on his throwing hand, which is not ideal in bitter temperatures where the ball feels like a rock and every throw stings a little. Chicago's explosive passing attack adds another wrinkle. They have the weapons and scheme to attack this Rams secondary, which has struggled down the stretch. This is the same group that just made Bryce Young look like Steve Young in the wild card round, and not just once, but for the second time this season, which is the sort of thing that gets noticed in film rooms. If that secondary continues to misstep, it sets up an opening for Chicago to hit chunk plays through the air on top of their strong ground game. Then there is the weather, which hangs over everything here. The Rams are traveling for a second straight week and walking into a cold climate with extended forecasts calling for bitter temperatures, with feels like numbers potentially around -7 and winds in the 20+ miles per hour range at Soldier Field. Those conditions are usually a comfort zone for the Bears and a serious test for a warm weather or dome-based offense. When you stack up the Bears' recent performance, their home environment, the Rams' travel and injury concerns, and the quarterback track record in these settings, it becomes much easier to see why taking the home underdog catching points feels very reasonable. As our first pick for this matchup, the Chicago Bears to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. Los Angeles has been lighting up scoreboards for much of the year. The Rams have scored 30.5 points per game while averaging 268.1 passing yards and 126.6 rushing yards per game. Defensively, they have allowed 20.4 points against per game this season, which on paper looks respectable, especially when paired with an offense that can score in bunches. Chicago's offensive and defensive profile slots just a bit lower on raw scoring but still looks potent. The Bears have scored 25.9 points per game, getting 225.1 passing yards and 144.5 rushing yards on average. They have allowed 24.4 points against per game this season, which is a tick higher than the Rams' defensive number, and hints at games that can lean a bit more toward shootout territory when things get loose. Both teams had very close calls in their first playoff games last weekend, the kind of wins that feel more like escapes than blowouts. That usually nudges coaches to chase a more complete effort in the next round, whether that means cleaner execution, fewer turnovers, or better red zone decisions. Los Angeles comes in with an offense that is widely viewed as elite, and that label fits when you look at how frequently they cross 30 points. Their defense, though, has been inconsistent and has allowed 27+ points in 4 of their last 5 games, which is not what you want if you are holding an over ticket but cannot hurt if you are. Chicago's defense has had its moments too. They fell behind early against Green Bay last week, and it took time for them to settle in, but their defense has generally been pretty solid over the last 5 games. Still, when you zoom out and look across the season, you see a group that can be stressed by strong offenses and creative play callers, especially through the air. Here is where the recent trends really lean toward points. Los Angeles is allowing an average of 30 points over their last 5 games, which is a significant jump from their season-long number. Chicago ranks 29th in yards allowed per play on the season, which is not where you want to be when facing a Rams offense that can punish even small coverage mistakes. The Rams average a league-high 30.7 points per game and have the firepower to embarrass a Bears pass defense that sits among the NFL's worst units. That combination, a surging offense and a defense that struggles to get off the field, lines up with a game where both teams can find the end zone. Honestly, this sets up as a big, loud fade of both defenses. You have one side that has been leaking points lately and another that struggles in yards allowed per play, and both offenses are capable of sustained drives. Chicago's ground game and passing attack can both strain this Rams unit, and Los Angeles, with its scoring average, does not need many possessions to push a game toward a higher total. We should see plenty of points with how the Rams are defending right now. If their recent form holds and Chicago continues to do its part on offense, this projects as the kind of game where field goals alone will not be enough to keep up, and touchdowns become the norm rather than the bonus. As our first pick for this matchup, over the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed, subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.